Basically, half of the country yesterday had no internet, no cable, nothing. Still glitching a little bit. Hopefully, everything is working today. Lots of rain. So, I'm not sure if that's why we had the outage yesterday. But oh my God, hopefully, they're going to credit our bill. Okay. And if they don't credit your bill, then you can call and say, hey, my service was out this time and that time. It affected me this time, that time, and all of that. You have to tell them. And then possible they will credit the bill. Well, anyways, people, happy Thursday. Almost the ending of the week. Yay, we almost weekend. My God. Guys, oh my word. My God, my word, my word. Huh, guys? Huh, guys? Oh my word, my word, my word. Huh, guys? Oh my word, my word. But anyways, guys, happy Thursday. Thank you for stopping by. Let's get this content on. Let's catch all the early risers who heading out for a productive day and all of those good stuff. Let's run on with this content. I'm sure you guys saw this story way back, but you guys know when it comes to sentencing, it takes a while for some of the uncivilized mutt to get sentenced and all of that. So this is a story where Claudia Banton basically execute her son, her friend. Sorry guys, tongue tie early in the morning. Executed her friend at a funeral. Almost like on a funeral, she did it on the sidewalk. So we're gonna get into this content. We're not gonna drag it out. Happy Thursday. Every moment is a fresh beginning. Have a beautiful day. Let's get into the content. A woman was sentenced to 23 years to life in prison for cold-blooded execution-style slaying of a longtime friend on a Brooklyn sidewalk, where mourners had gathered to light candles and pay tribute to a mutual pal. So somebody already unalive, somebody already drop out. They were there doing vigil candlelight, and here comes Claudia Banton with the gun, execute the child, execute the child on the sidewalk, or the lady on the sidewalk. Okay. Um Johnson, was 42. Claudia, was up in her age. It was way back, so I'm sure they were a little bit younger then. But anyways, let's continue. Claudia Banton, 46, had attended the same funeral as a victim, Delia Johnson, a day before the 2021 killing, had even chatted with her at the service, official says. But when they crossed paths at the vigil, the very next day, Banton singled 42-year-old Johnson out on a crowded Crown Heights sidewalk and pumped a bullet in her head, shooting her a couple more times after she fell. The shooting was cold-blooded execution of a woman who was attending a ceremony to honor a late friend, Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez said Monday. It is especially shocking that the defendant was so brazen as to carry out the murder among a crowd of mourners, causing chaos and fears as they run from gunfire. The caught-on-camera murder was compounded by the confusion and ensued in the moments after the attack. At least one witness told responding cops that a man had gunned down the woman. Police armed with description of double getaway car even stopped Banton mere blocks from the crime scene, but let her go when she didn't match the misleading description. Only when the police got a look a couple of hours later at the video of Banton approaching Johnson from behind along Franklin Avenue and firing the fatal shot did cop realize their big mistake. So basically, the way how everything was so chaotic, people, the witnesses said it was a man that shot that lady, that shot Johnson. When we hide, it's Claudia that shot Johnson. Not only that, because the police is doing all kind of spot check, because obviously there's a murder, police then pull her over and let her go because she didn't match the description. It's after the fact when they watch the security cameras or watch the cameras, then they found out that this is the culprit. This is the uncivilized mod, basically. All right. Detective linked the license plate of the getaway car, a Mercedes-Benz, to a Claudia Williams in Georgia, One of the names addresses Banton used. Cops tracked down Banton down 3 months later in Jacksonville, Florida, and she was extradited to New York City. Jurors watched chilling video of the shooting and of the police officers frantically trying to revive Johnson as she gasped for breath and blood poured from her head. They also saw the body cam footage of the police pulling over the shooter and letting her go. The motive for the killing remains unclear. This is not a case where our argument escalated. This is a case where the victim was shot by a stray bullet, prosecutors wrote in a sentencing recommendation. Just the opposite, what the court saw during this trial is that this defendant took advantage of the unsuspecting people around her, those who truly were there to mourn a friend. The defendant exploited the emotions of the night and was able to get within the feet of her target, raised her gun to Delia's head, and let off at least 5 shots. Banton was a longtime friend of Johnson's family, and Johnson's mother treated her as another daughter, the victim family said. Okay, people? Woman sentenced for murdering a friend candlelighting ceremony in Brooklyn. All right? A 46-year-old woman was sentenced to 23 years to life in prison for murdering her former friend at a candlelighting ceremony in August 2021, Brooklyn District Attorney announced, okay? Claudia was convicted of second-degree murder and second-degree criminal possession of a weapon on April 3rd, 2025, all right? Remember, this happened in 2021. You know, sentences take a while to happen, and they happen on April the 3rd, and now the judge handed the sentence of 23 years. The victim, Delia Johnson, was attending a candlelight ceremony near Franklin Avenue and Prospect Park in Crown Heights after a funeral for a mutual friend, prosecutor says. That's why I don't like funerals, guys. During the ceremony, Banton shot Johnson multiple times before fleeing in a vehicle. Prosecutor says that Banton was eventually captured in Jacksonville, Florida on November 8, 2021 by U.S. Marshals. The shooting was cold-blooded. Execution of a woman was attending a ceremony to honor a late friend, said the Gonzalez. It's especially shocking that the defendant was so brazen as to carry out this murder among a crowd of mourners, causing chaos and fear as they ran from the gunfire. My thoughts were Delia Johnson, friends and family who were heartbroken by the senseless loss of life. Okay? So this happened, like I said, a while back. You know, she ended up killing her friend, right? Got sentenced April 5th and got 23 years. Not only that, after that, after the shooting, police pulled her over, but because of the wrong description, police basically let her go. She ran. She was captured in Jackson, Florida. She fled and eventually was captured in Jacksonville, Florida on November 8, 2021. Okay? And she was sentenced in April 2025 and now got her sentence 23 years, like right now. Okay, guys? Like right now. So I want to get into the content. I want to remind you guys what I've been talking about and what I've been reading. And let's go. Let's hear it for yourself.
Years after Delia Johnson was gunned down, 4 years. Johnson was gunned down on a Brooklyn sidewalk. Her killer has been sentenced. Today, emotions ran high in court as Johnson's family finally got a chance to speak. And News 12 Shakti Dennis has covered this trial since its beginning, and she was there today.
Applause broke out in the courtroom as a judge sentenced Claudia Banton to 23 years to life behind bars.
I feel she deserved more, but today is about changing. Today is about forgiving.
The sentencing marks the end of a 4-year nightmare for the family of Delia Johnson, shot execution style on a Crown Heights sidewalk in 2021.
Listen.
I am so glad that this is over.
In an emotional victim statement, Johnson's mother asking why and pouring her heart out to Banton, a woman she considered like a daughter who even lived with the family at times.
It felt good because it was a release.
46-year-old Banton listened with tears streaming down her cheeks as Johnson's family described feeling betrayed. I'll never see my sister again.
Johnson's 21-year-old daughter, currently deployed with the Air Force, appeared by video in uniform, struggling to put her pain into words, saying at least her mother didn't suffer. Banton didn't address the family for legal reasons, according to her attorney, but he says her silence shouldn't be mistaken for indifference.
It's very difficult for someone to absorb that type of speech from people that you know and love.
The judge even grew emotional as she spoke about the deep, lasting pain Johnson's family has endured.
And it ain't easy, but I know one day it will get better.
Claudia Banton's defense attorney says he's working on an appeal. But for now, Delia Johnson's family says they can finally begin to heal now that justice has been served. In downtown Brooklyn, Shakti of Brooklyn.
Could you imagine, guys? Could you imagine? Could you imagine? Could you imagine that this is your friend? You eat and drink at your friend's house, and later on in life, you end up executing your friend. So what do I always say? Watch your friend, watch your friends, what you keep. And what do I always say? If you don't die from natural causes or an accident of some sort, look out for a friend, a family member, somebody you eat and drink with, have their hand in your death, to be honest. Okay, guys? So I had to come and share all of that with you guys this morning. She finally got 23 years to life in jail for executional style her friend in front of so much mourners. Blatant disregard for lives, disregard for humanity, disregard for the court system, disregard for the laws of the land. So this is a girl that used to sleep at her friend's house. This is a girl who used to eat and drink with her friend, end up killing her friend executional style. Ran away, got caught in Florida. Still until this day, the family don't even know why this girl ended up killing this girl. So I had to come out and shout. Claudia Banton sentenced to 23 years to life in prison for executional style her friend in 2020. Got sentenced recent April the 5th, 2025, and got 23 years to life in prison. No remorse, nothing like that. Just sobbing with all the crocodile tears coming down her face in court. Could you imagine? But anyways, guys, we're not going to drag it out. I want to give you guys 1 hour basically when it comes to this content. It's raining out, so I gotta push out early today. Okay, pack some patient, leave extra out of your house so you don't get into an accident, so you're not late for wherever you're going. Okay, so I got to run soon or later. All right, so let's get into some stuff. We want to get into lots of stuff that we want to get in. All right, let's start from the content that we did yesterday. So like I said to you guys, there's a law in the UK supposedly to be changed that if you are a pedophile and you do 4 years and more in the prison system, you're not going to be allowed to see your children. If you molest your children, that's when the only time you're not allowed to see them. But if you molest somebody else, and if you didn't get 4 years to more in prison, then you're allowed to see your children. So I'm just recapping on that live yesterday, because maybe perhaps a lot of you guys never get to watch the live, or perhaps, you guys wanted to know what the live was about, so I could, tweak your interests so you can go and watch the content that I dropped yesterday. Okay, guys? So I had to bring that law, and I had to bring that to you guys for fun. Let's move on with the rest of the content, okay? All right, let's get into some other stuff. From there, we want to get to right here. So 7-Eleven ordered to pay nearly $1 million after rejecting injured BC woman 125K settlement. Okay, so right now I'm not even sure why 7-Eleven rejected to pay 125K. Now they end up after paying $1 million. Sometimes these people are ignorant. When they're a big company and you're the little person, it's like they don't want to pay the money, and now they have to cough up $1 million after the woman was injured instead of 125,000. And I'm sure they paid lawyer much more, so they basically lost the way I see it. Okay? All right? Moving on. Then we want to go here. BC Police Watchdog has suggested charges should be considered in the police-involved shooting of a man in distress the evening of March 28, 2023 in North Cowichan. So we want to get to that content, so to speak. So just a minute. So apparently, one second, let me get into it. So this man here, okay, BC police supposed to be charged. They want them to be charged. I am trying to get it to play and it won't play for me. But they're trying to get this actually the RCMP to be charged because this man basically, as you can see, okay, was involved in a police shooting. All right. And basically they're saying that they want the police to be charged for some and the other. And once they talk about police to be charged, then it's a different situation. At the end of the day, it's a big deal. And a lot of times, we get into these kind of situations where police situations are happening with police, but at the end of the day, nobody really don't call them out. People really at times don't get any justice. They claim and all of those things. So that's what it is. Okay. So BC Watchdog want the police want the RCMP actually to be charged, consider police involved shooting, and charges to consider the police involved, right? So BC Watchdog, like I said, suggested charge. I thought it was in my thing, but let me see if I could find it this way in my email, because I thought I emailed it to myself, but I guess not. Okay, I think this is it. Okay, yep, this is it. Okay, let me play it for you guys. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, so let's get into it. Hopefully it'll play for me.
BC's Police Watch
right here.
Suggested charges should be considered in the police-involved shooting of a man in distress the evening of March 28, 2023 in North Cowichan. The Independent Investigations Office, EO, of BC has forwarded the matter involving Davin Cochran and North Cowichan, Duncan RCMP officers to Crown Counsel. On the evening of March 28, 2023 North Cowichan, Duncan RCMP were called to a disturbance around Evans Park and Sominos Road. They arrived to find Cochran driving a skid steer around the park and neighborhood. The subsequent interactions between the police and Cochran resulted in Cochran being shot in the head and sustaining serious and life-threatening injuries. The IIO was tasked with determining if police were justified in shooting Cochran. Upon completion of the investigation, Chief Civilian Director Jessica Berglund reviewed the evidence and determined that reasonable grounds exist to believe that one officer may have committed an offense in relation to the use of a firearm, said the IIO report, issued May 21, 2025. As a result, and pursuant to Section 38.11 of the Police Act, the IIO has forwarded a report to the BC Prosecution Service for consideration of charges. The IIO investigation began in March 2023 and a request for witnesses was issued by the agency in August 2023. In order to approve any charges, the BC Prosecution Service must be satisfied that there is a substantial likelihood of conviction based on the evidence gathered by the IIO, and that prosecution be required in the public interest, said the decision. Court records dated March 21, 2024 show Davin Cochran has filed a civil claim in the Supreme Court of British Columbia against the individual Mounties.
So now you hear for yourself. So it doesn't make no sense I read something and then I don't come with all the stuff them that we had to speak about. So now you know that right now seems like they're gonna be charged with the situation where when it comes to this situation here that I'm showing you guys and all of that. Now we're going to run on quick and fast. All right, let's get to this one. SafeMoon CEO found guilty in U.S. crypto fraud trial. Oh no. Oh wow. Oh no. Oh, wow. The Safe Moon CEO faces up to 45 years in prison after jury convicted him of defrauding investors and misappropriating millions in crypto. Could you imagine? Could you? Huh? A U.S. federal jury has found Braden Crony, the chief executive of digital assets firm SafeMoon, guilty on all counts in crypto fraud case that the prosecutor said led to misappropriation of millions of dollars in investor funds. Crony was convicted of conspiracy to commit security fraud, wire fraud, and money laundering. Okay, following a 12-day trial before U.S. District Judge, but nobody don't see fit. Nobody don't really see what's happening out here. Okay, guys? All right. Now, let's get to this one. Since we're talking about all of that, remember the other day I came and I spoke to you guys about the George Floyd situation? Remember, guys? I came and I spoke to you guys and I said, hey, guys, that man was not, the officer was not locked up because of killing George Floyd. He was locked up of the base of what he didn't do. Okay, all of those kind of things. All right. So we also want to get to here before we get to anything else. Before we even get to George Floyd, let's get to this. All right. Adult accused of enrolling as a teen of Ohio high school. Now you tell me now, pervert. You tell me now. How do you enroll yourself as a teen and you are an adult? How do you enroll yourself and you are a teen? As a teen and you're an adult, how do you enroll yourself? Huh, people? How do you enroll yourself as a teen and you're a big ass adult? Tell me now, where does these pervert get their reasoning ability from? Where does these pervert get their reasoning ability from, guys? Let's get to that one. He's 24 and he registered as a teen. I kid you not. Let's get into this one if you would play for me.
New at 5.
Let's see.
Man in his 20s has just been arrested after fooling an Ohio community for more than a year. He even attended the local high school. Reporter Brad.
Yeah, he enrolled in January of 2020.
Oh
Detective
my.
Ryan Moreau, it felt like something straight out of a movie.
I've dealt with fraud. I've dealt with, forged documents and stuff like that. But to this extent and to this extreme, no, I've never dealt with anything like this.
It all started last week when a family contacted Perrysburg schools with a tip.
Listen.
One of their students, who claimed to be a 16-year-old homeless teen, was not a teenager at all. Moreau took the case and quickly confirmed the truth. The student was allegedly 24-year-old Anthony Labrador Sierra, who was living with a local family, taking classes, and fooling an entire community.
The family was actually the one that informed the school because they were made aware of the allegation that he was an adult.
How did they find out? A woman came forward saying that she shared a child with Labrador Sierra.
She had documentation, including a different driver's license, different social security card, along with some photo evidence that supported her claims.
Moreau verified it all and then dug deeper, discovered that Labrador Sierra had used federal guidelines for homeless youth to enroll at Perrysburg High. And for nearly a year and a half, Anthony blended in. He went to school right here at Perrysburg High School, took his classes, even suited up for a couple of the JV sports teams here. To build the case, Moreau followed a trail of fraud.
We found that he used a
Do we really need to drag this out? This is a pervert. You already have a child that you're going to enroll in teenager school and you're a big ass adult, 20-something, finish school, should be on your way to college or out your way from college or university. So you have some sick people nowadays. People, I am not sure if he has mental illness, and if he does, then they need to either up the dose or lower the dose because something is wrong. And at the end of the day, people were not making fun of mental illness, but how dare you? You are a big ass man going to enroll in a high school What are you doing around the teens? To me, I would shout out pervert. Some people would shout out mental illness. I'm not sure. Because a lot of times when you're homeless and you're a sane person, you end up being mentally ill and all kind of problem because you have so much different issues happening. So they would just sum it up and say you're having a mental problem. So is this a mental case why he enrolled in the school and didn't remember, say he's an adult and have a child? Or this is a pervert case where he's an adult and want to enroll himself around a teen because he's a pervert? I am not sure, people. Go look up that story. I am only giving you a little bit of it. Let's run on with the rest of the content, shall we? Pervert, the way I see it. Okay? Pervert. Anyways, let's continue. But you're 20 something and you enroll yourself in high school. Yes, we have mature. Remember, adults can go to high school and take adult program, take a GD program and even a high school program. But you have to enroll as an adult, not a teen. So I just had to kiss my teeth and pass. Let's get into this one. All right? Calls to pardon George Floyd convicted undermine police reforms. Yada, 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 yada. All right? So remember the other day and I came and I shouted to you guys, it's been almost 5 years since the world watched George Floyd beg for his life as a white police officer knelt on his black father's neck for more than 9 minutes. Remember I told you guys that they never gave this man because he killed George Floyd. Remember, watch the content. I dropped that part when the jury came out and talked 5 years later. That they never convicted him for kneeling on this man's neck. They never convicted him for him to have him like a slave on the floor. They never convicted the officer for killing the man. They convicted the officer for what he didn't do, render aid. I came and talked to you guys about that. So right now they want to pardon the officer. So if they go pardon the officer now, guys, let me understand this. All of that work that we did out here marching, protesting, went in vain, when it went through the window and went in vain. Huh? All of these changes when it comes to the police force and all of that, that's gonna go down the drain if they pardon this man. What he needs to be pardoned for? Didn't he know that he was standing on someone's neck? Would he have stand on a dog neck like that, or his cat, or his grandchildren, or even his own children? So these are the things that I'm talking about. So don't be surprised if the officer in George Floyd case get a pardon. Don't be surprised. I am shouting. I've been shouting from the other day, and it's the reason why I came and spoke to you guys the other day. They never lock up this man for killing George Floyd. They lock up this man for not rendering aid. Therefore, this man could appeal. Therefore, this man could come out anytime. Therefore, this man could be pardoned. Remember I shouted the other day? Who was listening? I hope you were listening and watching the content, okay? Running on. Run on, black folks. Running on everybody else that watch it. Running on everybody on the live. Running on masses. Running on. Okay? All right. From there, we want to get to here. Remember, I say to you guys that education is never enough. No matter how much money you have, at times you want a little bit. Now look at the Kardashian, them rich as ever. Wear the most expensive bag. Hang around with the most famous people. Had children for the one of the artists, entrepreneur, stylists, and all of these Kanye West. What happened to this girl? Let me shout, black woman. What happened, people? No matter how much money she had, folks, looky here. Kim Kardashian graduated from law program after 6 years, finally. Didn't I not tell you that a law program is about 6 to 7 years? Didn't I not say that? Didn't I not say that it's good to go get your education? So you have women out here that don't have the money that Kardashian have, and not get no education when they can get student loan, grants, and all these things. But Kardashian, who has multitudes of money, is out here getting education. So you will ask why? Because education is never enough. Kardashian can end up in a situation like Kanye West and the rest of these people, and they drag her down, tie her down, and then she end up with no money, and I guess she will go and practice law after. I'm not sure people remember her father was a lawyer. If the judge, if the gloves don't fit, I quit. Remember her father? So lawyers in her blood. The legal team is in the girl blood and vein. The last time I checked, because her dad and Johnny Cochran was an OJ case and la di la di la. And if the gloves don't fit, I quit. So you see, education, I guess, running their brain, running their vein. Don't be a fool out here. Vagina can't help you. Pretty face can't help you. Big body and breast can't help you. The main thing could help you out here nowadays days is education. The main thing can make you survive in this world nowadays days is having a career. For the man them, the most thing can make you survive nowadays days is to go and have a trade. Even women nowadays days can have trade. I see women put up column, nail fence, put up fence, all kind of things in my neighborhood. But you hardly see a black sister will go take up those kind of work because the nails too long. They don't want to get their nails dirty and it's too hard. Okay? So I'm just shouting to let you guys know. Kim Kardashian out here full force. Joshua, how are you? Out here full pledge, having a law degree, having a law graduates, and out here shouting with the rest of the money that she already has or have or had. Okay, guys? So I had to come and shout that out quick and fast. All right? Running on, moving on with the rest of the content. Okay? Running on, moving on, running on with the rest of the content. So it brought us here. Former USPS employee sentenced to 27 months in jail for stealing 1.9 million in checks. Okay, a former United Postal Service employee in North Carolina was sentenced to 27 months in prison after allegedly stole over 1.9 million in checks. Should be privileged person because you have people out here getting life for marijuana. You have people doing more than months and years for child support. So how he embezzle 27? How he embezzle 1.9 million and only get 27 months in jail? Seriously? Oh my. What a tap on the wrist. What a privileged person. His lawyer must be good. Because look how much money he stole in checks and only get 27 months. Really and truly? Let me just kiss my teeth and pass literally. Next. Moving on, running on with the content, shall we? Moving on, running on with the content, shall we? Okay. Bring us here. Cassie brought the people in Diddy's best friend. Oh no. So you guys know that the trial has been happening. They brought Cassie. They brought her mom. They brought her best friend. And I'm like, Rico, Rico, Rico. Where are the people them that he trafficked? Can you show me? Hello, anyone? Where are they? Until now, I can't see them. So I'm assuming that the prosecutor is building his character so they can bring the rest of the wave of the people. But the way I see it, nada, nil. The way I see it. The way how I see this case at times, this case is a joke, the way I see it, okay? So Cassie, understand, so Cassie brought a lot of people to the freak offs. All right? We get to understand that she brought a lot of people to the freak off. All right? That's what we get to understand. That she brought a lot of people to the freak off. All right? And I'm not sure why she bring a lot of people to the freak off, guys. All right? So the way how I see it, Cassie's supposed to be locked up like Diddy and everybody else, the way I see it. Okay? She should be locked up like Diddy and everybody else, the way how I see it. Okay, guys? If my internet is glitching, guys, we had no internet, no cable. The whole of the half of this country was blocked the F out yesterday without internet and cable. Bell Canada had their issues and their problem, and the whole of everybody's system was down yesterday. I see my system is glitching. So if you go in and out, people, it's not that I didn't pay my bill. It's not that I don't have internet. It's been a wide knockout yesterday when it came to the internet and all of that. So there was nothing that we can do. Even right now, I'm trying to get in my Gmail and it's giving me a hard time. A really hard time to get in my Gmail because the internet them nowadays days, we had a blackout. Same as a couple of months ago, nobody could have used any credit or any debit. You had to have cash because the whole system was wiped the hell out and back somehow and all of these kind of things. All right. So I'm trying to get in my Gmail. That's why you see I'm still email, so to speak. So Cassie brought the people. Let's get into that one quick and fast. Oh, oops, sorry. I told you, I don't know. It's too weird. Guys, I'm sorry, guys. Just pack some patience. Have some patience with me this morning. It's not my fault. You could look it up.
Your donation
Okay,
powers
one second. I'm
Lexi
mute
Care.
you because of
I'm
commercial.
always ready.
Now,
Right here.
Combs' friend of more than 35 years. All right. The idea that you don't know somebody after that amount of time is an impossibility. The question is, will he be truthful? Charlucci Finney, it's good to have you.
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Appreciate you taking the time. I see by what you're wearing that you are a strong supporter indeed of Diddy, as you have been since this first started. First, respond to this main idea. Sean is rough. He hits women, and you do what he says, or he will punish you. And that's why Cassie and others were not willing participants at the freak-offs. What do you make of that suggestion?
Like you said, it's a suggestion, and that don't make it a fact. That just make it a suggestion, like you just said, my friend.
Murder.
Why isn't it a fact?
Because it hasn't been proven that's a fact. It's a suggestion. Someone said something, right? You have to follow behind it, and you have to hear two parts to it. So what was said, what you're saying, is what this was heard. That's it. There's no facts to it.
But you tell me, from your experience,
right?
Was the Cassie a one-off, or is your friend somebody who's got a problem with hitting women? Did he make people do things they didn't want to do? You would know the answer, Charlucci.
Okay, so a one-off. I don't even know him to hit women. That one, right? And after what I've seen, right? My friend was in a toxic relationship with another person that was obviously toxic. Based on what we're seeing, they both admitted to doing drugs, right? And I can't say one-off. Anyone that's enough. Hitting one person is enough. So it's not about 3 and 4 and 5, 6. Nobody should put hands on nobody. A man should touch a woman. A woman should not touch a man, especially in a violent manner.
And you never saw him hit any women?
Never.
Can you imagine that? So he said he never saw. So how come he's not understand? How come it's everybody saying, I saw he did this, I saw. How come they don't have this man understand to say, okay, blah, blah, dee, and da, 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 da. Okay, let's continue. Please and thanks.
Obviously toxic. Based on what we're seeing, they both admitted to doing drugs, right? And
I'm repeating it so you guys could hear it again.
I can't say one-off. Anyone that's enough. Hitting one person is enough.
So he never heard him
Never saw him hit any women?
Never.
You're there.
I'm a father.
Go ahead, please, Charlucci.
I'm a father of two daughters, right? So I wouldn't be here wearing this shirt if I've ever saw any one of my friends, especially him, hit a woman, and it would never happen in front of me. And I've never seen it, never heard it, and seeing it, yeah, it was a lot to take in, but I knew that wasn't him. It looked like like I was saying, drug-induced, high, or whatever you want to call it. But that's not the Sean that I know. That you see in the hallway.
The idea that the freak.
Okay, so let's hear the part about the freak off now. Listen to this part now, sir and ma'ams and everyone's.
Offs. People had to do it because they were afraid of Sean Combs.
I don't believe that. They were consenting adults. I don't believe. How you gonna make a ex-worker fly in town or come to somewhere and leave unharmed and unscathed? Like I never heard of
And
that
they're
like that in
sex
my life.
workers.
These
That's
are
what they
willing
do.
participants
How do
to
you?
me.
Have you been in touch with your friend while he's been in custody?
Yes.
So you hear what the man has to say. Running on with this content. Running on with this content. Not only that, nevertheless, people, not only that, people, we get to understand that Punisher came and spilled a lot, and he said that he was told to have, you know what, and he refused. And it doesn't seem like Cassie was really there forcefully, and all of these things that the Punisher had to say about this. So the Punisher is a man that was called more than one time to come and get the do's and the do's on, really and truly, right here, the Punisher, and the Punisher has a lot to say when it comes to Diddy and Cassie. He said that is just something he's used to, that he see married couple or couples get into all kind of things. So he was the one to understand, and the way how I see it, he was a prosecutor witness, but he's more for the defend witness, because he never said anything really that much to throw Puffy underneath the bus. Okay, so this man, the Punisher, and here we go right here with his little take. We're not gonna drag out all of it, but we want to hear a little bit of it. Okay.
Next up on the stand after Cass' mom stepped down, a man who goes by the name, wait for it, the Punisher.
The Punisher.
The Punisher
Yo.
is an exotic dancer and
The
former sex worker
Punisher.
whose real name is Sheree Hayes. Mr. Hayes
Mighty
told the jury that he got
God.
his nickname playing basketball, but his photos, they seem to tell a different story for why he may be using that name today. Kind of safe for work, almost not safe for work. I wouldn't put it up at work, but that's the Punisher, y'all. Mr. Punisher testified that he was hired by Diddy and Cassie for 8 to 12 different times.
Mighty
things
God.
like
Go there, girl.
and he was
Punisher in the
meant to
house.
create a sexy scene that would last for hours.
You're there.
He said that Diddy called all the shots in these episodes. He didn't call them freak-offs, but he described what we've heard as freak-offs. He never saw any cameras. He said he didn't see any violence. And he said, although Cassie would sometimes wince or sigh at some of the sex directions that came from Diddy, he said it didn't seem as though Cassie was against her will.
I knew it.
Again, this is prosecution witness. So
That's what I said. That's what I said.
There. He does certainly corroborate the freak-offs and what happened in the freak-offs, but that whole business about, to him, he wasn't sure if Cassie was into it or not, but he did.
What is so disturbing and troubling for me, you hear that Cassie said that after the beating, she went back to her apartment and her friend called the police. So if she was so controlled at the time and people's always over her and they won't give her any freedom, how come the friend reached the phone to call the police that day? And then when the police came, she didn't want to give up the name. Not only that, we see Cassie on so much red carpet, so many where, and we don't see any bruises. So when he beat her, he doesn't bring her anywhere. And the black eye that she had, was that only one time or more than one time? Because look at her skin, she has a light skin. Even me, if I get burn or scratch or anything, even show on my skin, and my skin is a darker version than hers. So I just want to know, I am not deflecting that this man is not a monster, but me just want to know, say, where's the bruises that they claim that he was always boxing her over, thumping her, doing all of the. I find it very strange and odd. Not only that, guys, she claims that she had an infection. Okay? But yet still we never heard how many times she had to go to the doctors to do any to go and do any STD tests, because everybody know that when you're sleeping with more than one partners, whether you're a sex worker, whether you're a prostitute, whether you sell a back road, you go do testing more than a regular person. If you're working in the club, you go testing more than a regular person. So how are all of these men are running, training her and doing all of these things with her and sleeping with her of the medical record that she goes to the doctor because of the urinary tract infection. She said that the medication that she was getting or whatever sometimes didn't work. So who gave her that medication? Why isn't the doctor understand? I'm saying, okay, because of whatever happened to her her punash or her private part, we had to give her all this kind of medication because of urinary tract infection. We never heard nothing like that. So all of these things are just saying without any medical evidence. I am lost somewhere. But nevertheless, not picking up for Diddy. Whatever he get, he deserve. As you can see, this girl is half black, and Diddy like some other girls other than what looking like him, the way how I see it. And I just feel like most of the time, when the black lady did come out and said Diddy shot her in the club, nobody never really phased it that much. It's like, oh yeah, put it on the back burner. So I'm not sure why the police is making a big deal out of this part when a lady was shot, and that's almost attempted murder, and he wasn't really charged for it. So I don't get it. I really don't get it. But anyway, the Punisher.
That she winced and that she sighed as Diddy gave a lot of those directions. By the way, the Punisher also said that he never saw Diddy take drugs, never saw that he seemed drunk or high, which is exactly what prosecutors are trying to show, that this was not just an out of control, party.
Let's get to the Punisher.
A summary and a description of what
This
that
is
day was
him.
like for you.
Well, it's very nerve wracking. There's nothing you can do to really prepare yourself for that type of environment. Very tense scenario, very serious atmosphere, and I just kept a mind frame of from the time I've been contacted by investigators. It's just give my version of the truth, what I can remember to the best of my ability, and that's what I tried to do today.
So I know that you talked about this on the stand, but I want to just sort of flesh it out with you a little, because we get court sketches. There's no cameras in court, so it's really good to have you in person. When you say that it was clear that Diddy was directing the sex scenes and the sex acts, because as you described, it started off as just a sexy scene, but it progressed into actual sex over the course of the free costs. What kind of direction did you get the sense? Like aggressive, mean, demanding, or just, hey, this is kinky, let's do this?
Not even as I described in the text. They were very subtle.
Oh no.
Mr. Combs was always basically across the room.
Oh no.
And it would be in a low tone, and it would just be suggestive. It was nothing aggressive, nothing that would create some sort of.
Do we need to drag this out anymore? So you guys put witness on the stand and just talking shit. Put witness on the stand is basically saying that this man didn't even bark after the end of the sex scene and all of these things. You know what's so disturbing about it? Oh, he control Cassie. He control Cassie. But if Cassie it's Puff Diddy artist. She has to be under control with him. How she spend her money, what she wear out there, how she deal with the public, what she goes on the internet and do, and all of these things. Once you're under management, the management will make sure the content of your character is good outside, all over. So when I hear that, oh, but he paid for an apartment, well, isn't she the artist? So who's gonna pay for those things? Same like the rappers, they would get like a one stack of money, and then they have to work through, and then pay back half of the money. So if he's her manager, if she signed to Bad Boy, doesn't he have some kind of control over her money and control over her well-being the last time I checked? When you have a manager in the music world, don't they control everything the last time I checked? So if she wasn't signed to Bad Boy, then I could say, okay, it's a part of control. But if she signed to Bad Boy, then he's going to want to know, how do you pay your apartment, where you get the money from, how do you make your money, and all of these things, because it's supposed to be his artist. So I find it odd that people are talking about control, but don't remember the fact that this is the artist, and she has to be under some kind of situation, some stipulation, because that's how you control the artist. And many of people, management, or whoever have artists, they control them by how their money spent, what car they buy, how they spend their money, what chain they wear, how they eat, what bodyguard, where they go, where they perform. The last time I checked. So I'm lost and disturbed a little bit more. I'm going to wrap up this live.
Scenario that this was like unnatural between them. Obviously, a sexual scenario with a couple is not the norm, but it's something that I had heard of before, and there's some couples that get into this, and in hindsight, if there were no accusations, I would have saw it as completely natural.
Oh no.
Can you repeat that? You would have seen it as what?
If there was no accusations, like in hindsight, all this stuff is in hindsight. Like in the moment, I didn't see it as anything but a couple doing something risque, and Cassie as a partner trying to create a fantasy for who I believe was her husband. And
Cassie wanted to be submissive for the billionaire. And when she was going to leave, she realized, say, oh shit, I have no music career, no fashion career, nothing. Nothing at all. Because remember, Cassie used to model before she met Diddy. Remember, Cassie used to do all kind of talent show and all kind of things that people them claim until she met Diddy to do music. So after you've been with this man for 10 years and this man was going to let you go, and then you said, okay, here's my book, read my book. I want to sell this book for 30 million. I want this book for 30 million. And the man, go away. I have all your naked pictures, all your nastiness. And then the lawsuit came. So I believe that when Cassie was going, Cassie realized that she had no music, no talent, no child to get any child support, no wedding ring to get any spousal support. So Cassie was just, you know what? He messed me up, gonna blackball me and all of these things. So I'm gonna complain and I'm gonna sue. Well, you can't even blame her the way I see it. Okay? Because more time Puffy have to know himself. And remember the black woman that was shot, there was no accountability. And then they say Kim this and that, no accountability. So there's a lot of things that he's been doing sinister to a lot of people. A lot of people. But what can we say? Those things hasn't been proven yet. So we have to say allegedly. Moving on, kiss me teeth, wrapping up this live. Okay, guys, let's run on. So after that, people, like I said, this man said he's been hired. He's been hired 11 times. Sorry, guys. He's been hired 11 times. The Punisher had been hired 11 times. And in all of that, he just thought that Cassie was just a participant. And Cassie was there to be submissive to her husband. He never saw that there was a problem. Oh my, what a witness for the prosecutor. He should have been the witness for the defense, the way I see it, because what did he really come and tell? That she participated willingly. She liked it, she loved it, the way I see it. And he made her comfortable. Because you know the funniest thing? This guy came 11 times. Why wasn't it 11 different guys? This guy came 11 times. That means that he made someone come that she's comfortable with and known and used to. So is that part of control? Is that part of control? Not only that, we get to understand that Puffy will stay in the background and jerk off when the man them is doing all kind of things to Cassie. Oh, this faggot. But what can I say? No discrimination. Last time I check and shout. Okay, guys? So it's troubling and disturbing for me, but wrapping up this live. Okay? We're not going to play anymore. Go do your own research. Please and thanks. All right? Let's get into some more into the content. Please and thanks. All right? From here, we want to get to here. Oh my. Shocking panhandling scheme exposed in Ontario. Now, I've been telling you guys, and people maybe think I'm racist. You have a lot of these people that have those hijab on their head. And how can I put this? A lot of them is in this country and they're not working. If you go into many of these workplaces, you hardly see these people in the workplace working. But if you go to the park, you see many of them out there with strollers, babies, husband, everybody's just sitting down, not working. New thing is now, I don't speak English. And the next thing is now is the panhandling situation. They're going out here panhandling, saying that they're needy and poor, which they're not. At times they have some big house. At times they're all getting checks. They're getting child tax and all of this money that they're getting, and they're still out here begging from the public after we're taxpayers. So they caught them red handling, panhandling, and saying that they're